there's a crew in town. The head hillbillies are making their rounds. Small town whispers loud and clear. The sheriff shot the judge in his chambers chair.
Sheriff got a secret he won't keep. Judge shot dead in his disbelief. A lot of people have some stories to tell. Dark pass away, get the sound of a shotgun shell.
All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground, rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Neighbors hide behind their blinds, whisper tales of troubled minds. Skeletons covering the mountainside, a treacherous reality in the pines.
Winter reveals the hidden lies. Moonlight couldn't mask their cries. Shadows caught in sunlit skies. There's no cover, no disguise. All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground, rumors fly and they can't be
Winter reveals the hidden lie. Moonlight could mask their cries. Shadows caught in sunlit skies. There's no cover, no disguise.
all the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground, rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. If you've not been here before, you have been missing out. And we are so glad that you're here now. So sit back, grab you a drink, and let's hit some tea tonight. Oh my goodness. There was a huge update. So welcome, everybody. Come on in. We'll give everybody a minute here. Allegedly, Lisa. We love you. Thank you for all you guys do. Our mods are the best, guys. Tell them thank you for all the hard work that they do. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hillbilly Crime. Please hit that thumbs up on your way in. Sit back, relax, and grab you some popcorn. So, Sweet Tater is supposed to be joining us, but I haven't been able to reach her for the last few minutes, so she'll jump on whenever she gets ready. And let me pull up the original article too. I should have did that. Okay. Now there's one that they just did last night, but we're gonna read an article. There's we'll read one of the older articles here, or at least I think it was her. Yeah, there she is. There she is. Hi, sweet Tater.
Hi
You look
guys, how are you all doing?
good. You look beautiful in purple. I love that. It looks
Well,
nice on you.
I just took a shower. It was so good. It felt so wonderful.
It does. You know, that
It was
helps me a
very
whole lot.
warm and I scrubbed real good.
That
Well,
helps.
when I go
Yeah.
outside, it makes me itchy. So I was outside working today and I climbed a hillside to get me some flowers.
Tell them about your experience today.
I don't remember what I said.
Oh, well, one of the things that mommy does, and I'm bad for it too, she's taught me how to do it. We'll see pretty flowers on the side of the road somewhere. Now, we're not talking about in somebody's yard. We're talking about on a hillside out
And you
somewhere.
climb right up there and get you some.
Yeah.
So I drove to the park down there where I'd been watching these flowers for a couple of weeks. And I knew that if I was going to get them, and I wanted them to seed, I wanted to get them and put them in my spot, and I wanted them to seed so I'd have some next year. So I got parked and got all ready to climb this hillside, and this woman says, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I'm going to climb that hill over there and get me some of them flowers." And she said, "You just go right on, honey." Must have been her hillside. And you be careful. So I had permission.
That's nice. We like to hear that. You know, you don't always have to be an old. Sometimes you run across people that are like, "Don't you step on my yard. Get your foot off my grass."
I got new glasses.
Okay, you go right ahead, Mommy. You go right ahead. Tell us where you guys are from. We love hearing where people are watching from. Our cultures are so different sometimes. Retha Bell, Elizabeth, you must have been busy today. You had a chance to be on STS Nation. Yeah, I didn't get the invite in time. I think they must have sent it last night sometime, and I just missed it. I had a couple people message me this morning, and they said they invited you and you didn't show up. Surviving the Survivor with Joel and Gavin. They did a video. They did a video on the judge and the sheriff. And so I told them next time they'll invite me and I'll make sure to get it early enough. But Mom was talking about taking a shower. Sometimes, we talk a lot about mental health and mental illness. And one of the most common ones that, a lot of us struggle with is depression. Just depression. And it makes you not want to get off the couch. It makes you not want to get out of bed sometimes. And it makes you not want to get up and, go get in the shower. And so I have to make myself sometimes every day get in there and get in the shower. If you work from home, especially, it's easy to just get in a rut. It's easy to get down and feeling real bad. And, so it's always a good thing to try and keep an eye on our loved ones and our neighbors and reach out to them. Just let them know that somebody's thinking about them. Somebody's praying for them. And that reminds me. Okay, guys. So I want to address something too. I'm waiting on Mommy to come back before I show the case, the arrest. So one of our hillbillies got attacked by a dog recently, and the situation is something that we deal a lot with around here in the mountains, which are like abandoned animals. People will take them up in a holler and just dump them out and then run off and leave them. And then that animal becomes that holler's problem. And most people already have dogs. Most people already have animals, you know. So if they're not fixed, if you've got females that are in heat, the next thing you know, you've got this male stray dog running around. Well, so it was in a neighboring county from here, and somebody had dumped off this dog, and it was a male. There were some females in heat in a fence, and this dog kept jumping the fence back and forth. And she said it jumped the fence, it went over there with the females, and it started to go back out. And when it jumped the fence to get out, it got its foot stuck in the fence. And so it was hanging upside down in this fence, stuck by its paw. And she said, so she went out there to try and help it and try and, you know, free this dog, because she said it was screaming. So she goes out there, and she said nobody would have ever dreamed that that dog would have done the acrobatics that it did, and came back up, and it bit her arm, and she had to be flew out, I'm pretty sure she said, to a hospital. And she is one of our very loyal viewers, and she's one of our Hillbilly family. And so I asked her if we could talk about it tonight just a little bit and ask for prayer. So if any of you pray and believe in the power of prayer like we do, and believe in healing like we do, please keep her in your prayers. She's very worried that, you know, the healing process and all the steps that they have to take now to try and save her arm. So let's pray that, you know, we won't even speak the other alternative. We'll just continue to pray for her, and pray for healing, and pray for strength, and pray for just the emotional trauma that she's endured from this, because they ended up having to put the dog down. A neighbor ran out and kicked the dog, and had kicked it enough to where it lifted it up, and it was able to free itself from its paw. But it ran away, and then it ran back up to them, and somebody pew-pewed it, and it took off again. It kept running from them, she said, and it ran up into the mountain, and they ended up finding it later, hours later, maybe the next day even. And it was still alive, but it was suffering, but where it had been pew-pewed. So they went ahead and put it out of its misery. So, you know, she's just really sad, and, you know, that's just a horrible situation. And, you know, she was talking about just the dog laws and the kinds of things that are already on the books that aren't enforced a lot, you know. And we know our shelters are just overrun with unwanted animals. You know, the dog warden, every county, I'd say, is overwhelmed with calls and stuff. So just pray. If you all pray and you believe in prayer, please keep her in your prayers as a special prayer request. All right. So, let me pull this up real quick, and we'll get on with the case. Okay, so this was on the Facebook here. The investigation. This is Trooper Gayhart. He's one of the state troopers, and he has a social media page where he posts stuff. Update, May 23rd, 2025. So this was yesterday that he posted this. A Letcher County man has been taken into custody in connection with a red rum investigation that began more than a year ago. On Thursday, May 22nd, 2025, the results of the investigation were presented to a Letcher County grand jury, which led to the issuance of an indictment warrant. Mark Miles, 65, of Whitesburg, was located and arrested by troopers shortly after the indictment warrant was issued by Letcher Circuit Court. He has been charged with 1 count of red rum and is currently being held without bond at the Letcher County Jail. And this was Cowan, Kentucky, March 8, 2024. On Thursday, March 7th, 2024, at approximately 7:52 p.m., Kentucky State Police Post 13 Hazard received a 911 call in reference to a female being located unresponsive on Dinah Blair Hollow Road, located in the Cowan community of Letcher County. Troopers, along with medical personnel, responded to the scene. Upon arrival, Angela Roberts, 59, of Whitesburg, was located deceased from an apparent gunshot wound. Detectives with KSP responded to the scene and launched an investigation. The Letcher County Coroner's Office responded and pronounced Roberts deceased on the scene. Roberts was taken to the medical examiner's office in Frankfort pending an autopsy. This incident remains under investigation by Detective Anthony Trotter. Now, Anthony Trotter is the detective. He's the state police officer. He's the state police officer that we saw in that video of Mickey when Mickey was being walked in front of the cruiser, and you see him on the dash cam, and they take him around and put him in the back seat, and then you see that trooper walk back around to that lead detective that was standing in the front of the police car. That tall, dark-headed boy, that was Anthony Trotter. Okay, and then let's look at this one. This is an older article from the Mountain Eagle, and it says, probe into Big Cowan red rum is continuing. And this was October 16th, 2024. Kentucky State Police are examining DNA evidence in their investigation of the red rum of Angela Jeanette Roberts this spring. The KSP Crime Lab collected samples and swabbed Roberts' car at the time of the crime and are attempting to determine whether hair found in the vehicle belonged to a cousin of Roberts who discovered her body and called 911. That's who they arrested. That's who ended up being arrested. That's this guy that we're talking about. So it's really interesting to look back now that they've arrested this guy, to look back at all of the evidence that they apparently had. To a cousin of Roberts who discovered her body and called 911, or to the killer. Turns out he might have just been one and the same. Roberts, 58, of Bald Mountain Road, was pronounced dead shortly after 11 p.m. March 7th, about 6 months after her daughter was found pew-pewed to death near her home. New information says Roberts' cousin was supposed to stop by her house the evening of her death, but didn't find her there. When he started off the other side of the mountain, he saw her car at the cemetery and pulled in beside it. That's when he saw she was slumped over in the driver's seat and didn't respond when he knocked on the window. He told police he used a log he picked up to break a window and gain entry into the car and tried to get her out. He said he discovered the blood and realized she was dead when he tried to pull her out of the car. That's when he called 911 and waited for police to arrive. According to documents in the case, the cousin said he had touched several places in the car while trying to move Roberts, and police are now trying to determine if samples collected came from him or someone else, perhaps the person who pew-pewed Roberts. There is no gun found at the scene, though Roberts was known to carry one or more firearms. Roberts had been asking anyone with information about who unalived Patricia May, Trish Roberts, that's her daughter, Deathridge, 40, in 2023 to contact her. Deathridge, who was Roberts' daughter, would have been 41 on March 6th, and Roberts had posted online asking people to remember Deathridge on her birthday and to please contact her if they knew anything about her daughter's red rum. Deathridge's body was found over a hillside near her home on Bald Mountain Road on July 31st, 2023, and she was pronounced dead on August 1st, shortly after midnight. She had been missing for at least 2 days. She had been pew-pewed in the head. The new documents show Roberts had also been pew-pewed in the head. Roberts is the third woman to be red-rummed in that area of Letcher County within a 27-month period. Lois Rogers Trent, 82, was found dead in her home at Whitco, December 12, 2021, apparently bludgeoned to death. So, that's very interesting to me how they wrote that, which, I mean, I'm sure that's probably how they wouldn't want somebody to know that they had them in their sights, that they were a suspect, maybe. But here's my question, okay? Here's the questions that I have. Did something new happen that said, okay, now we have enough to take it in front of the grand jury? Were they waiting on some kind of DNA or test results and they just got those back? I wonder, did they always have this same information and the same testing? And it just took a new administration, a new prosecutor's office to actually take it in front of the grand jury? Why hadn't it been taken in front of the grand jury until now? That's what my question is. What made him go from being just the cousin and the person who actually found her to being a suspect? We know, any of you true crimers out there, one of the things that we hear them say is, who do they look at in an investigation, usually with a red rum? The significant other is a person of interest immediately, and also the person who finds the body. I've heard that a lot. What do you think, Zelmy?
Well, I suppose that's probably true. The person that found the body is trying to look innocent. You know what I'm saying? So they report it, and they think that makes them look innocent. And also, I think family disputes, or whatever that's called, is probably the leading cause of death.
Yeah.
And especially family members, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Are,
Now he was only indicted on the mom. I'm waiting to see if he will get indicted over the daughter as well.
well, he might tell it, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm He has only been charged with the mom, but I've been reading a lot of Facebook posts today about it, and I've seen several comments from other family members. And one person said, I knew it. I've always known it was him. Whenever we asked him questions right afterwards, he didn't, it just didn't make sense or something to that effect. And
I know.
so I've also been told today that more is supposed to be coming. There's more information that is supposed to be coming out, and we haven't gotten that yet. But I'm wondering if that's what it's going to be about. Will it be that he is responsible for both? That would be interesting, because the daughter had went to go pick up her mother's medicine at the pharmacy the day that she went missing, and it turned out the day that she was also unalived. So she goes and gets the mom's medicine, which I think it was pain pills. She comes home, and then she goes missing, and the pills are also missing. And so I don't know. I've heard a couple rumors about it. Maybe I shouldn't repeat them, so I won't say it. But it looks to me like he was a suspect, though, from some people immediately right after it happened. And it hasn't been as long as what I thought. For some reason, I was thinking this was like 5 years ago. That shows you how time just, I don't know, it's hard for me to judge time sometimes. I can't tell you if it happened this morning or last week. Oh, look here. We got a ton of people. Miss Marnie says purple is a great color on Sweet Tater. It sure is. Crystal says purple is my favorite color. And
Well, it's that bath I just took.
Angie B, my first live. We love you in Greenup County.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah, that's where my mom and dad both families from.
I'm a Forbes. If you know any Forbeses in Ashland or out at Argolite, they're my relatives.
I had somebody tell me they were from Flatwoods. And I said, oh, yeah, we know where that's at. There was Forbes Park. There was a little Forbes Park there next to Greenbow somewhere, wasn't it, Mom?
Well, it was at Argolite. It's across where the farm was, where my grandpa moved there and had a farm and a sawmill and different stuff. He was a pretty clever person. And so my Uncle Glenn was the one that ended up with the farm. And he's dead, been dead a long time. And his kids have it now.
Yeah, I think we went out there once. The last time we went to a reunion, it's been several years ago.
Yeah, and that's where we always had the reunion. It was an area that flooded when the water got up, so there's never any crops there, and they built a shelter and so forth, and it was a nice place in the summer to have a park.
Yeah,
and to have a family get together.
I'm the sugar honey iced tea. Evening is now complete. Look here, we got Miss Rena. I just joined from Springfield, Missouri.
I lived in Nixa, I think it was called, Missouri. It's
Got
outside
Chicago.
Springfield.
Mm-hmm. Chicago, state of Washington. And do
Hmm.
you notice? I said this to Gavin the other night. Do you notice how many serial killers come from that area? Like Oregon and Washington and
Oh,
Alaska
it's them lumberjacks, big lumber.
truckers.
And you know that I watched that the serial killer that it was on for 10 years. Y'all remember his name? Seems
Uh,
like it started with a D or something. I watched him on Netflix, but he was on regular television. He was a really cool dude, and he always just killed people that needed to be killed. You know what I'm saying? So, but when he at the end, that's where he went was to Washington, I think, to get out there and be a lumberjack and live in the woods.
well, there are a whole lot end up coming. It seems like it, anyways, from that area. Gulf
Oh,
Shores, Alabama, Mendel.
oh, I'd like to go to Alabama.
Kathy's from Cave City, Kentucky. Cypher 777, Wisconsin. Snooks, Dover, west of Maysville. They got hit by a tornado a couple years ago that was really bad. Cold Aquarius, Paducah. Everybody keep all of the people in your prayers too from the natural disasters. Like it just seems like they happen back to back to back to back to back, wherever. It doesn't really matter where. One right after the other. And you know, there's also a fault line that runs through Appalachia. And I was watching something on the one out west, the big fault line out west that goes all the way down the west coast. And they were talking about this one out here that runs under Appalachia. And just how, if it was to have an earthquake, how just devastating it would be to this area. Are you familiar with that fault line?
I'm not.
Well, it had an earthquake just like last week or 2 weeks ago, but it was a very, very small one. So we didn't feel it here, I don't think, but there were people in Western Kentucky that felt it.
Yeah, I heard them talking about that.
Brandy's from southeastern Kentucky, right here.
Oh, right here. She's our kissing cousin.
There you go. Was born in
Blackie. Woo! They had a big festival out in Blackie last weekend.
Did they? South Alabama
at the beach. Ooh, I want to be there.
Westchester. Oh,
is that near Columbus?
I don't know.
Westchester.
Jackie says from Hardin County.
That's Kentucky.
Charlotte, Lubbock, Texas. I have a friend who works on he moved to Texas from here last year, I guess, or a couple years ago. And now he works on a big oil rig out in the middle of the ocean. And honey, you talk about doing it. He is absolutely just killing life. Absolutely doing amazing. I am from Texas, but living in Mexico. We love you, Miss Mert. Good to see you. Let's see. June, Michelle. Smickey's Mouse says rabies are bad this year. We've had several skunks found to be rabid and bats. Well, that was another thing. Our hillbilly family member that was attacked by that dog, that dog had not had any rabies shots. So now she has to take rabies shots on top of her arm.
Well, if the dog is dead, they can test its brain. I
Well, she's
thought.
still taking 'em. She's still having to take them. So
Well, them rabies shots are awful.
I
They have to
heard
be
it was
given in
like
the stomach.
yeah, and like all at once or something, ain't it? Like a whole bunch of them.
No, it's strung out for about a month.
Yeah, a whole bunch of them. But I mean, each time I think there's more than just one, unless I got that backwards and maybe it's just a real long one or something. But it's awful, regardless of how it is. I reckon rabies treatment is just bad. So keep her in your prayers, y'all. I've just been absolutely tore up since she told me about it because I've been struggling. I'm in like my week 3 of taking that fat shot, and I can tell I'm struggling with it. And I didn't feel good this morning, and I was just kind of complaining, and I don't know, I just didn't feel good. And then she told me what she had been going through and why she hadn't been to the show. And I felt this big. I mean, I felt like I just wanted to crawl up underneath my bed and pull my covers up over my head because it can always be worse. Here I was complaining, feeling bad about what I was going through, and she's worried about losing her arm, and I think she might be a little bit older than me. Maybe not. She might be younger than me. I don't know. I should have asked her. But regardless, it doesn't matter how old we are. Something like this is just, you don't see it coming. You never see something like this happening. It's just, it happens and it's over before you know it. And so I just was reminded today that it can always be worse no matter what we're going through. Be grateful instead of complain because somebody next to us could be going through the fight of their life, So that was a good lesson for me today. Suck it up, Buttercup. Suck it up, Buttercup.
Ah.
Life's a dance. I'm in around Hot Springs, Western Kentucky. Sminky's Mouse says, I had a patient with rabies one time. He got bit by a bat and didn't tell anyone. Once you have symptoms, there's nothing that can help. Oh. What happened? Did they die? What do you think, Mom?
Well, what did you say? I didn't catch it.
She said, I had a patient with rabies one time. He got bit by a bat and didn't tell anyone. Once you have symptoms, there's nothing that can help.
I think there's been one girl up in somewhere up north that I read that they were able to save her somehow. I think she got scratched by a bat. And she didn't know that it had done that. You know what I'm saying? But she had all kinds of mental problems and everything else. But she would have been the first one. Usually, once the symptoms appear, you're dead.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then, of course, the people go kind of mad, like. So I don't know what they do about that. You know what I'm saying? I guess they probably can. Long ago, you read these things about how they would, chain themselves up before they went mad to something or the other. You know what I'm talking about in the novels, in the books. But now they'd probably just put them in a coma.
Yeah. Well, Mom, the other night I have this poem. I'm going to reread that poem. One of our hillbillies wrote a poem, And I was going to read it a long time ago, and I just kept forgetting. Every time I get on the show, it would just kind of get out of the way, or I would get distracted, and I just kept forgetting it. And everybody loved it. I read it the other night, finally, and everybody loved it, and it was just such a great poem. So I'm going to read it again because you didn't get to read it or listen to it. It's very, very good. Ashes. Oh, yes, you were. I think you were here. Ashes of Letcher by Thad Cornett. Letter to the betrayed. To the ones who saw the truth through bourbon breath and courthouse cologne, this is for you. To those buried by whispers, mocked for standing, silenced for remembering, this is your vengeance in verse. I don't come to beg justice, I come to drag it by the throat. Hollow justice. This town wears silence like a crown. Crooked smiles in courtrooms drown. Truth walks the alleys, barefoot, bruised, while power's hands stay well perfumed. Gavels fall like thunder's bluff, but behind the robe, just cowards' cuffs. Laws in ink on paper thin. When snakes write rules, they always win. But somewhere deep in midnight's hum, a voice like yours begins to drum. No badge, no bench, no rusted chain can hold the storm you keep restrained. Crowned in rust, they ride in trucks with flags like lies, smirking under coal-choked skies. Behind a badge, behind a bench, they sell your rights for poker chips and stench. Whiskey breath and courthouse keys, secrets buried beneath the magnolia trees. Preacher shakes the sheriff's hand while bodies vanish in the land. They built this town on silence, shame, then branded rebels with the blame. But you're not made to kneel. You're steel wrapped in skin that feels. So speak in fire, carve your name, let every echo curse their game. Because when this county starts to bleed, it's justice you, not they, will feed. Gospel of the gutless. They call him judge, but he's just a pawn, reading verdicts from his daddy's dawn. Swaps justice for a round of golf while victims rot in silence soft. Sheriff smiles, chest puffed proud, hides his fear in a flannel shroud. He don't chase wolves, he feeds their pack. Just don't you dare ever talk back. Clerks with lips that kiss the ring, signing lies like wedding things. One hand takes your vote with grace, the other erases it, no trace. And the preacher? Oh, that golden voice preaches truth, but sells you choice. As long as sinners pay in tithes, he'll bless the rapist and damn the wives. The rot beneath. The mayor grins in Sunday pews, while meth smoke curls behind the news. Kids go missing, no one screams. Just count the hush between the screams. They pave the roads with funeral funds, buy silence with the county's crumbs. Elections rigged with whiskey nods, the devil's name inked under God's. The courthouse cracks from blood and bribe, but they just paint it white and lie. Nothing's wrong, the sheriff hums. as battered wives pack up their young. There's no law here, just legacy of deals carved out in jealousy. The good grow quiet, the bold get caged, and those in power sweetly aged. But here you are, unchained, unbent, your voice a blade they can't prevent. You're not their pawn, no one of theirs. You're the reckoning in county prayers, psalm of the unclean. They toast to power dressed in shame, wearing crosses like it's just a game. One hand holds the book of lies, the other wipes the blood that dries. They ain't holy, just well hidden, backroom sins publicly forgiven, sanctified by kin and creed, while justice chokes on poisoned seed. The clerk courts cash with trembling hands. She knows the names, she knows the plans. Each document a death delayed, each notarized betrayal paid. The sheriff sleeps in rented trust, his badge now dulled by rotten rust. The rapist walks, the victim pleads. He shrugs, already planting seeds. But the fire's lit and smoke will rise, no matter how they stitch their lies. 'Cause truth don't die, it waits, it learns. And when it strikes, it never burns alone. Whoa, ain't that good? I love that. Like, that's just awesome. I'm gonna type it out and put it in a post on our channel so y'all can see it and read it whenever you want. Kentucky RN, we got hit by the tornado in Somerset. Bless you. Keep them in your prayers as well. Everybody that was hit by those tornadoes. Those storms were bad everywhere. Hello from Guntersville, Alabama. Guntersville girl. Wood.
Yeah, I'd love to go to Alabama.
Me
I don't
too.
like to drive anymore.
I want to go. I want an RV, and I want to go just traveling. Me and you
Well,
and
I
our.
was thinking that you get your kids out of school.
Yep.
You go with you, but that you need to get them out of. Well, I guess you could homeschool them. But Alan likes sports, so that wouldn't be fair to him. So I think that'd be great to have an RV, and you could transmit. I mean, you could have a satellite. I know people that do stuff like that all the time, and they're hooked up.
I know. People are doing it. Me and you'd have a great time. We just keep our Hillbilly crime show going and show us traveling across the country. That'd be
yeah.
Yes, Mary Ann says that was beautiful. That was the best piece of writing I think I've ever read. I really love that. One of our hillbillies wrote our song too. The intro and outro song for this. One of our hillbillies wrote that. And I've been trying to find a guitar player so we could try and sing it. But I think I might have found one. This actually the same boy that wrote that poem. He can play guitar. So if he can figure out the song and get to where he can play that song, I'll go try and sing it. Cappy Goat 67. Wow, that poem was awesome. Sure was. Is. I have family in Springdale, Arkansas, and Fayetteville, born and raised. Southern girl and proud of it. That's right. Regina K says, I've lived in Arkansas since 1969. I'm a transplant from New Mexico in a gentler time. That's great. Allegedly Lisa. Jackie, rewinded to the beginning. Yep, depression is bad and anxiety. Have to drag myself in the shower to being afraid to go to sleep. Every time we do a show, I pace for an hour after the show's over.
I might not watch them.
I do. I pace because my anxiety is just so bad.
You, Elizabeth, or somebody else?
Me.
Oh, that's just because you get keyed up doing it. You're not, the anxiety is not because you're afraid. It's because of, you know. No. When I do my radio show, it keys me up.
Yeah. Yeah. Janie says, I think only 6 people are known to have survived rabies.
That one was all I knew about. She was a young girl in school.
Miss Joanne, it doesn't give me an option to do CC on my end, but when you watch it on your end, I think you can go down to the bottom and it should show your closed caption, and you should be able to turn them on that way. If it doesn't turn on now during the live, then I know that I think it turns them on. Like if you watch the replay, it'll turn them on. I'm not sure if it does on the live one or not, but it doesn't give me an option to do it on my end, or I would. I'm sorry. If we're watching something like another, if I'm streaming a trial or something, I can turn the closed captions on that. But if it's just like of me and Mom talking, it doesn't give me an option to do that. So there's going to be some new stuff coming out about this case. I don't know anything about it, and I never have known anything about this case other than
the only thing I knew was they appeared to be connected in my mind. And because that she was really searching for who had killed her daughter, and is why she got pew-pewed.
Yeah.
That was in my mind, that there was a connection there between the two.
There was.
The police didn't say anything about it, but to me there was. So if he went with the girl to get the medicine, did he go with her to pick the medicine up?
I don't know. I haven't seen anything like that in an article. So I don't know. I think what it was he said in that article that we just read from October of that year, he was supposed to be going to the mother's house. And she didn't show up. And he was the one that went and found the mother. Now, I think I saw in a post on Facebook on a comment, or it was either in a comment or somebody had sent me a message about it. But that's not confirmed. So, I don't want to say anything if it's not right. So I don't know if he was actually around the daughter the day that she died, if they knew he was around the daughter or not. Because remember, he's not charged with her death. Right now, he's only charged with the mother's death. But it's also been something that's been connected in my mind, too. I figured that...
I mean, why would he just up and kill that woman?
Right. If she was getting too close, or if she was just causing him trouble. And, like I said, I saw several comments of people saying, I knew it, I knew he was acting funny. And so he was already suspected. He was suspected right after this happened. But I'll be anxious to find out whenever the discovery comes out. Whenever the discovery comes out on this case, we'll know a lot more. This is just the indictment. So, innocent until proven guilty, they say. Well, I'm not going to keep this one real long. We'll go ahead and close this one down tonight. Well, Life's a Dance. That's the song that we've got at the beginning and the end, our intro and outro. That is an AI. That's who's singing that. That's just an AI demo for our song, or for our show song. And if I can't do no better than what they are, we won't put my version up there, but I'm sure going to try anyway. But so that's what we've got right now. We've already got an AI song. That's what it is. Unless you were talking about the poem. Does Miss Sweet Tater play the dulcimer or the banjo? You ain't a true Kentuckian unless you do. Well, we got a video on there of her playing.
I don't play the dulcimer much. I mean, I know what a dulcimer is, and I got one, and I've played them and taken lessons. But
it's not that you play.
I don't play it, no. But I play the banjo.
We got a video up of her playing, but I think it might be members only.
Well,
no, I made it public.
You'll have to come and do another one.
I will. Yes. Cappy Goat 67. A lot of campgrounds and RV parks have Wi-Fi now. Honey, they better. All of them. Because I ain't going to one that don't. I can tell you that. Oh. Yep. She plays the banjo and the guitar. She can play the guitar too. If you go into the playlist, I think it's Letcher County playlist, but it's a purple. The thumbnail will be purple, and it's got a little cartoon granny there playing her banjo. That's mom. That's mommy. Yes, I think that he wrote that poem about Letcher County. Yep. Regina, I thought it was written by AI. No, one of our hillbillies wrote that. Both of them. Hillbilly wrote the song and Hillbilly wrote the poem. We got some talented people, don't we, here, Mommy?
Oh, they are amazingly talented people in Letcher County. They're so creative. I don't know what the connection is there, but it might be because, it's so rural and everything, but even people, there's all sorts of creativity. I've had people build me things and they're very creative, and I don't know. It's just a lot of people are creative.
Mm-hmm. And, art imitates tragedy too. A lot of the Appalachian music can be kind of inspired by tragedy. Yes, and Mommy does a radio show. Tell them where they can find you at.
I'm at www. wmmt.org. It's associated with Apple Shop, which is a nonprofit that exists here in Letcher County. And it's been here since 65. It started with a media thing with some cameras and stuff. And local kids in the high school were making films so they could go other places and live. But then they got to going and they wanted to stay at home and do their own thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's turned into. And so from that, it's grown. So in the 80s, in 85 is when they did the radio station. You know, Apple Shop got big and had lots of, they did June Apple recordings and all sorts of different kinds of things. And they made films. And then they had this institute for the young people, but then they had some heavy duty filmmakers, and they've made some wonderful films. They're always very tasteful, the ones that I've watched. Mm-hmm. And so in 85, they started the radio station, and it's WMMT. So that's all you have to remember. www, that's for the World Wide Web, .WMMT. And since it's a nonprofit, so it's a .org.
Yeah. And she does her radio DJing on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or what day is it?
It's on Thursdays and Fridays from 10 to 12. I play bluegrass, and I play old bluegrass. I don't play new stuff.
And one of them is called Out of the Blue. And the other one is Tater's Tubers.
Yes, Sweet Tater's Tubers.
So
and it's really a lot of fun to do.
And I think that the way that they have their website set up, because I've went and looked before, you can go to the WMMT and you can find Sweet Tater's DJing set time. Like you can go back and listen to it from the website, any of her shows and all of her shows. So that's pretty cool. Buggy says, I've fought anxiety for years. I do not have the answers. Me neither, Buggy. Me neither. I've gone weeks without leaving the house. I'm the same way. I can get really, really stuck sometimes. And this show helps me not to be so stuck because, you know, I have to get up and take a shower. I have to get ready for a certain hour. I have to, I'm working all the time. Don't get me wrong. I'm sitting right here working all day, every day. And it gets a lot. But, you know, you only have to get up and take a shower if you're going to be on camera or something. Let's see. Blonde Monkey 64. That is so beautiful. You can tell he's lived what he wrote. That's right. Allegedly, Lisa didn't have a problem with anxiety until Helene. Now, if it starts raining too hard, I freak out. Yeah. The older I've gotten to, and I'm almost 50, so I think I go through the menopause stuff as well. I think so, Miss Regina. I think you got to have that. I think it'll just show up on the replay. I'm sorry, Miss Marcia. Miss Marianne says, thanks, Elizabeth and Mama. Appreciate the info and update on the reading. Really love that poem. Rich with meaning and lovely phrases. I loved it. It's one of my favorite pieces of writing. Yes, don't forget to hit that thumbs up on your way out, guys. Okay, we'll go ahead and shut this one down. Call it a day. That's what Miss Sue says. going to call it a day. Everyone have a good weekend. And if you see anyone that was or is military, tell them thank you for their service. That's right. Thank you, Miss Sue. Thank you for reminding everybody. Yeah. Letcher County. Look here, Boomer. First time I ever seen black bears in the wild. They're everywhere up here. They are. My best friend worked for Barry at Sugar Hill Records. Got to see great acts through her. Victor says, I wasn't in the military, but first responder and fire, though. Well, we thank you for your service, honey. All that is such an important service. Any first responder is an important service. God bless America. That's right. Let's see. Can I put a link in? I'll put it in the post. I know I've posted it before in the channel on the post section, but I'll do it after the show because I have to go find it, and then I'll post a link to Mommy's stuff to the WMMT in our post. So just make sure you check out the posts here in just a little bit, and I'll put it in there for you. Yes, thank you for all of our mods. Memorial Day is for those that died. Veterans Day is for those of the living. Only say that because some service members don't like to be thanked for their service on Memorial Day. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. Adair County. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Cappy. Wow, Elizabeth, I wouldn't have thought you were in your upper 30s, early 40s. Looking fabulous. Well, thanks. It's that good skin Mommy give me. We can't get out in the sun to save our life. Well, she does. She stays out there digging around in her plants. You keep sunscreen on, Mommy?
No, it doesn't bother me anymore. It used to when I was younger.
Wow. Yeah. Cold Aquarius. This is not the weekend to thank veterans. This weekend is for the veterans no longer with us. Thank you. Look at the amount of people in the music business. This is going back. I went to school with Dean Hall, which is Tom T. Hall, and Dean could sing. Kentucky has so much talent. Oh, yeah. I'm obsessed with that new little girl who sings The Devil Wore a Lab Coat. Have you heard her, Mommy? She's got this big round. She's about that big round. She's a little stick, little skinny, twiggy looking girl. Oh, but she's got real long hair. And honey, she can sing. And she sings about Eastern Kentucky. She's from here, I reckon. And she sings about the oxycodone and the doctors and everybody who pushed it. I mean, she's got amazing songs. And she sings about real stuff with her country twang, with her mountain twang. I love it. Yeah, Mommy's you'll be 80, won't you? Or you already are?
No, I'll be 79.
Oh, she'll be 79. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make you old. Well, maybe that means I'm getting ready to be 49 then.
I don't know. I think I'm 79. Going to be in July.
Well, Okay, so this is 2025. I
I
was
was born in 46.
and I was born in 76. You were 30 when you had me.
Well, let's see. What is this? 2025?
Yeah.
25 years. So 2025 from 46. No, I'm just going to be 79.
Okay, well then I'm going to be 49.
Well,
I
good for you one more time.
was making myself 50, Mom. I was doing
Well,
it a year too early.
well, it'll be all right.
Ah, I don't
Well,
know.
I guess I'm going to bed, you guys. Y'all have a good
Okay.
night.
Yeah,
Bye.
me too. Bye, Mommy. Love you.
Love you.
All right, guys. Lord, thank you for another day, being able to come together with our friends and our family. We thank you so much for giving us another day of being able to be here, Lord. I thank you so much for all the blessings that you give us. I want to say extra special prayer tonight, Lord, for healing. We pray for the physical healing of our friend with the dog bite. Lord, I just pray that you will touch her, Lord. I pray that you touch her arm. I pray that you touch her heart. I pray that you touch just everything that she's going through right now, Lord. I cannot imagine what she's been going through. So I just pray. I pray that you touch the doctors that are treating her, that they have the best knowledge and resources to help her, and all the other people who've been displaced and harmed by all the tornadoes and the floods. Lord, we just keep on praying for them, that you will provide for us all. You know, we pray that you will help this channel keep growing and be sustainable. We pray for all the lost tonight, Lord, that you'll just soften their hearts and that you will lead them to you. Sometimes you have to bring us to our knees for us to get your attention. And I'm thankful for all that you've done in my life, Lord. I'm thankful for all the blessings and all the lessons. We cannot have a testimony without a test. And we just love you. I thank you for dying on the cross for us, Lord, for all of us. I pray that you'll forgive me for my sins. Save my soul from the devil, Lord. Go with us tonight and help us to come back again tomorrow. And until then, we give you all praise, honor, and glory. In Jesus' name, in Jesus' name. All right, guys. Keep everybody in your prayers. Most important. And we will see you all tomorrow. All right. Peace out, Girl Scout. Bye.
You can't hide from hillbilly crime.
You can't hide from hillbilly crime.
You can't hide from hillbilly crime.
You may not know that there's a crew in town. The head hillbillies are making their rounds. Small town whispers loud and clear. The sheriff shot the judge in his chambers chair.
Sheriff got a secret he won't keep. Judge shot dead in his disbelief. A lot of people have some stories to tell. Dog passed away, get the sound of a shotgun shell.
All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground, rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Neighbors hide behind their blinds, whisper tales of troubled minds. Skeletons covering the mountainside, a treacherous reality in the pines.
Winter reveals the hidden lies. Moonlight couldn't mask the cries. Shadows caught in sunlit skies. There's no cover, no disguise.